This question comes in from Stian Kalovid. Forgive me for saying the name incorrectly. I've sometimes wondered whether I should write TV series in addition to features, but so far it seems to me that the stories I want to tell are better told through films. Can Mr. Russell give an example of why a story would be better told as a TV series?
Well, if you love movies, and so many people do, and I know that a lot of people who grew up loving movies are kind of appalled that television has taken over. Think of it this way. You can tell any movie as a TV miniseries. You can take the movie that you've been writing for the last 4 or 5 years, and you can turn it into a television miniseries more easily than you can turn it into a TV series. So think of it that way. Now, I spent several years learning genres of movies: mystery thriller, crime thriller, horror, all of these genres, and I sort of mastered the deep understanding of each one of those genres. And every one of those genres is very different. And they all have these cool tools that I learned to help movie people. Well, guess what? Turns out, when I turned my attention to television, all the rules of movie thrillers apply to the crime drama that I'm selling as a serial right now, Ray Donovan Meets True Detective. All of those cool structural tools that work in Seven, that work in all these classic movies, turns out those secrets transfer right over to television. So just know that everything you've learned about movies works in TV. But the easiest transition is to take your movie idea and turn it into a mini-series. Why? Well, for some of the reasons we talked about earlier, which is mainly mini-series are like long movies because the characters have an arc. They start with a wound and they eventually heal or not. So if you're writing movies and you love movies, make the transition to television by writing a mini-series where you can simply stretch your idea into a longer form. Forget the structure so much, but those cool tools, which by the way I have on my website, peterrussellscriptdoctor.com. Each genre of movies has a set of hidden structures and tools in it. Just take those hidden structures and tools and apply them to your television show in the same genre. Writing a comedy, apply the movie comedic rules to your sitcom. Writing a romantic comedy, same thing. Love story, same thing. Adventure romance, same thing. Write a mini-series. It's a bridge form. It'll help you learn why television has two big differences with movies. One is that the characters don't really change in television, and the other one is you can tell more than you can in a movie where you want to show everything. So there's just more dialogue. But those are the two big differences. Everything else can be the same, especially in a miniseries. It's a great bridge for you to learn this new structure. And you'll just have a better chance of getting your story bought. I didn't say great chance. I said better chance, because I think we're up to 550 scripted television shows now in the U.S. A few years ago there were 200. So, and I believe that's going to simply continue. I think in 10 years television is going to be 5 times as big as it is right now. So, if you want your work to sell, learn the new forms by bridging your way to TV through using your movie as a mini-series.
Were miniseries in fashion, so to speak, previously? And
they were in the 70s. Mm-hmm. I know there were big miniseries in the 70s, like the Thornbirds.
Right.
There was another show called Shogun. So
yes.
These were big event television. So they'd be on a night for 3 or 4 nights, 5 nights sometimes. But then there was a long period when they weren't fashionable. But they've gotten very fashionable again. Ryan Murphy, all these guys who write these fantastic shows, the O.J. Simpson trial, the Trust, which is a great one that Danny Boyle just did. about the Getty family, brilliant miniseries. The assassination of Gianni Versace. They are, I think, where a lot of movie makers are going in television, because it's a more commodious form. It's the easiest way to transition from film to television. So yeah, and I think the miniseries also kind of satisfies our desire for seeing a movie, which is, I want to see somebody change. I want to see a complete story, right? When you're watching Animal Kingdom, okay, well, Ellen Barkin's still going to be a poisonous bitch. Okay, well, let's have some popcorn. But at some point, you want to sort of see what's going to happen, right? Can we have some resolution? Can we actually resolve something in our lives? That's what great movies have always done for us. So I think that instinct to have a complete story is why miniseries have become so much more popular. They're sort of replacing what movies used to give us, which is that sense of a complete story. We're done. Ellen Barkin's dead. Yay. 2 of the kids got help. They've got therapy, right? Thank God we can have dinner now, right? As opposed to, oh God, she's still in jail. She's still being tormented, right? Is she still wearing those awful black contacts? Yes, she is. She still looks like death, right? In a movie, she would have moved on. She'd probably be dead, or she'd be okay. But yeah, that's why miniseries, I think, are so popular.
So you said in the 70s they were popular. Can you see any parallels between now and that time? Do you think there's something in audiences that is...
Yeah, I think that we love long-form entertainment, and we like, that's I think why we binge series too. I think entertainment's becoming like the Russian novel. What do I mean by that? Of the 19th century. This sounds so pretentious. I know, I'm sorry. But the Russian novel, Tolstoy, got longer and longer and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Until there were 1,000 pages, 1,500 pages, right? That's the sign of the maturity of an art form, right? That's when art form gets its best, when it gets big, when it gets long. I think we're in that, and Susie hates me saying a golden age, but I think we are in a golden age of entertainment because the stories are getting so much longer. And look, you can tell everybody is neither a good guy nor a bad guy. Everybody's got a combination of traits in them, right? Mm-hmm. So a movie can't really show you that. There's not enough time. You're either good or you're bad. Television and the longer form can show both the good and the bad inside of all of us. It's a more sophisticated model of human behavior. I think we're just getting to be more sophisticated as people to know that people's stories are complex. I'm not all good. I'm not all evil. I'm mostly evil. But there's some good in me. But that's the mix. And so longer form art can give us a more complete picture of what humanity's about.